Hello my dear Leos, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between September 16 and September 30, 2017 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, you can email me in the description. You will find my email in the description box below the video. So I used the Mary L Tarot with Mary White, and I have already shuffled and chosen your cards. I do a shorter 9 cards mid-month reading, and then I will come back with a longer 15 card reading for the beginning of the month readings, where I also use smaller deck of cards. I will probably use the Legacy of the Divine, but as soon as I find a replacement for that beautiful deck, I will use it because it's starting to get a little bit worn and I like the energy of new decks. So I will just tune in for a few seconds and then I will start read for you. So, okay, my dear Leos. This is in your past, and we have the Tower there, so something happened. The Tower is very blunt, change of course of direction. It's like you have gotten instructions of how to change your life, and you have been a little bit reluctant to follow that. But then the Divine comes in with Uranus energy and just swoops all things away. It's like when you work on the same work for a long period of time, and you know you're really destined to do something else, but you don't do that because you don't want to sacrifice the safety, the tower that you already have built for yourself. But you're really needed elsewhere, so the Divine will come in and kind of change your course of direction. Maybe that company won't need your service anymore and you will be laid off, so you will be free to do what it is that you're supposed to do. That was just an example, and this has happened in the past, so it's something that has already happened to you. And it's a destruction of the old to make room for the new, like a new foundation built on rock solid ground. We can see it's a little bit painful to go through the events of the Tower. Many of the one that I already read for had also the Tower, but in the center. So it's something they are going through now, and you are going through this in the past. It might be the eclipse seasons that we have gone through that changed your destiny in some way and made a change of course for your Leos. The next card here is the Devil. So the Devil is the shadow. It's 15 connected with 1-5, the Lovers. So it might be that many of you Leos, you have a very big heart, and you're also very creative. So it might be that many of you have been addicted to different kind of creations that you have made. Either it's work related or relationship related or related to your worldly goods or whatever. Maybe you got too attached to those things. You got attached to your creations, and you need to be able to know when it's time to let go. This is you with the Tower facing your addiction, what you are addicted to, and also facing your fears in a very real way. And when you do, you might find out that the Devil is just a person like with a funny exterior, much like noticing that the Emperor is without clothes. When you really face your fears, they are usually not fears anymore, and that's a big win. That gives a big freedom to your life, Leos, when you have gone eye to eye with danger and being able to come alive from out of there. Some of you might have encounters with devilish people trying to deceive you, trying to manipulate you, trying to or you yourself might have this. Leos are predators. You are one of the few predators in the sun sign realm. We have also Scorpio, but they are not really predators. It's more they're toxic, but Leos are predators. And here you have a Page of Swords. So Page of Swords is seeing the truth in this situation. Page of Swords is like sobriety. It's like waking up. being enlightened, seeing the dragon, painting it on your body, taking in its power. So it's like you faced your fear, you faced the devil, and you took his power. So that's marvelous. That's shadow work in its best, when you can face your own shadow and see what's worth something there and take it and use it. So it's like with your strength. You can't be a dragon all the time, but you can be a dragon when it's needed. So that's a way to use your shadow in a very clear and decisive way. Page of Swords is like Jesus when he drove out the merchandiser from his father's temple. So it's like doing revolution in the name of truth and justice and high moral value. So you think you are very right here. And we can see that the claws from the dragon is being held like your throat chakra. So it's like speaking the truth even if your voice shakes. So this is about becoming like a truth beacon and pointing out the devil that he has no clothes because he was the emperor here in your life. It seems like he has ruled your life in some way. But the devil's realm is done. You have taken his power as your own and stepping up into truth. And yes, truth is freedom. I feel very much freedom from this, freedom from addiction, freedom from what has tied you in the past, freedom to maybe being too attached to your projects or your dreams or certain kind of people or places or situations. It's definitely have given you a big chunk of freedom. Page of Swords might also be a young entity in your life, like a child or something, truth teller of some sort. And anyway, you have looked the danger in the eyes, and you came out better because of it. Okay, so we'll see here. That was in the past, and this is in the now. And here we have the Magician. So the Magician and the Devil and the Tower. It seems like you have really gotten a hand of your own communication skills, like you're not afraid to communicate anymore, or to actually outwardly tell exactly what you want. And it's very decisive energy. The Page of Swords together with the Magician is like it's not like not taking a no for an answer, or going on alone if your idea isn't welcome in some way. So this person here, the Magician, is going through a pathway and is walking on water and holding kind of the flower of life in their hands. This is your Merkaba, it's your magnetic field as well. It's like an apple around your body. And together with the Page of Swords, it's the Magician becoming very white. It's like you're using weapons, but in the service of something higher. You have the devil, so that's the darkness that you have revealed. So it might be that you have learned from the worst of your enemies. You picked something up there that you could use, becoming more logic, more clear, seeing things. If you have a loving project or a beautiful work that you want to continue, if not everything goes your way, you will be able to see it. You are not going to like live in an illusion, putting on your pink glasses and pretending that everything is fine. If you were imagining a beautiful future for yourself and you started creating something and it turned out to be hell on earth, you are going to notice it. You are not going to be codependent anymore, Leo. You are going to see the truth and do what you need to do to create a better situation for yourself. That's where the freedom comes. You are ready now to sacrifice old things for even better and better visions. It's like you're not afraid to make mistakes anymore, or to invest time and into some project and then have to abandon it. This tentacles here, it's the same coloring as the shape of the Magician's robe. It's some kind of power that you have that's kind of protecting you, and at the same time being like, it's like you have gotten another kind of perception, maybe seeing through people better, seeing the truth of manipulations as well, and people trying to deceive you in this with the devil. The devil is like, imagine you're a person that wants to find like a person to live the rest of your life with. And all you can find is a devil, like a person that's deceiving and not wanting the same thing, but maybe pretending that they want the same thing. Here with the Magician and the Page of Swords, you will be able to see this much more sooner and send this entity at the door like the devil they are. So in the center here, we have the Fool upside down. So that means you are not so easily fooled anymore. You have sharpened your tongue and sharpened your logic. And I think you were smart enough before as well, but maybe you didn't use it so much because you were rather hopped up on your creative skills, like with the devil here. The devil is deep-rooted creative skills. It's like your talents, but they might like overtake you, might become like a obsession. We can see this with artists sometimes becoming like manic, creating. And I think you have found some kind of balance with this. You're not taking the same risks. You're not expressing into like madness. Like it's a more modesty to everything you do. You don't burn your energy in one end or both ends. It's some kind of moderation, but it's also counting downwards here from the Magician to the Fool. 1, 0. What's going to happen? Some kind of launch, maybe. Okay, here we have the Justice, and it comes underneath the Page of Swords. So, and cornered with the Devil, it's like you're not, you're very truthful and not angry, but you are kind of seeing things in another light of day. You want things to be more balanced. You want things to be more just. You're not just trusting everyone to be a nice entity, like with blue eyes going into the den of the monster. You're more determined to see that the situation at hand is actually going to give you what you want. It's like taking an offering of a job and soon discover that all the things that the person that kind of headhunted you told you isn't really true. And you will call that person up on the phone and say, well, this wasn't really what we agreed upon. And you will be very frank with this. And if the condition is not something that you like and you don't want to have, and the person on the other end doesn't want to give you justice, you just end the situation. You have no problem in kind of sacrificing the devil, sacrificing an illusion, sacrificing a lie. And that's the law of repulsion. What you say no to will no longer be. What you say yes to will be. It's it's a truth with this. People that's very picky usually get better offerings than the people that takes whatever is given to them. And I think because you have been had so easy to manifest and create things, you didn't have so much demands on situation. You could take clay and make it into a wonderful building with 5 stories and windows and everything out of a little piece of clay. So you could take any raw material and make it into like something beautiful. But now you're more picky, I think, into where you put your beautiful energy. You don't want people to use you or your talents or use your strength or use your energy, use and abuse you. You are going to shine your light wherever it's honored and respected and taken care of. So you want justice for yourself. We have the Devil here, that's Capricorn, and it's cornered by Justice, that's Libra. So it might be earth and air signs involved in this situation for you. This is Mercury. We have Mercury retrograde going on, so that might reveal a lie or two in your life. And central, we have the Fool upside down. So this is not taking risk. This is seeing clearly, not jumping out without safety net. It's like, well, I want to see your cards before I make this bargain. It's more like you demand more for yourself. Yes, okay, so that was in the now. So that's probably the second part of September 2017, and this is in the future. And here you have the Hangman. It came in the same position for Libra, but it came upside down. So upside down, it kind of means that liberation, a liberation from a place where you sacrifice things. But for you, it's still like this, the Hangman. You're still in this energy of sacrificing things that doesn't work for you, things that doesn't feel natural. The Hangman it's Odin. He hanged like this for 9 days to get wisdom, and he got the runes for the Nordic people, so being able to write their talked language down in written language. And it was also a way to tell the future with the runes. So it was a wisdom that he kind of downloaded here. So with the Tower, destruction of the old, magician, logic, left side brain, and the Hangman, sacrifice. So it's a lot of sacrifice, and what seems to be left is the left side brain. And Leos are usually more right side brain. You are more like artistic, more expressionistic, and this is more math, calculate, logic, straight lines, more divine masculine, to be honest. So it seems to be a trait of divine masculinity here, and something that needs to be sacrificed. It's going deep down with your emotions. So it might be that some of you have something that you need to solve with the divine masculinity, making friends with it, finding out the use for it, finding out its right kind of circumstance in your life, finding out kind of the core essence of what is really masculinity for you, and how do you want to express this in your life. It's like Jesus on the cross here. The magician is Jesus walking on water. This is some great destruction. Maybe it's Sodom and Gomorrah with fought to the devil here, but also it's like two paradigms meeting here, kind of Old Testament and New Testament, punishment and retribution and revenge, and this is more like light-hearted, turn the other cheek kind of thing, justice, but not with an eye for an eye, not so much revenge as it's more feminine, to be honest, because the Hangman 12 is connected to the 21 world and the 3, the Empress card. So, and it's the Fool, it's a baby, and this is like the Hangman. It's almost like a pregnancy, but the baby is coming upside down, and here's a baby too, a Page of Swords. It's a very it's almost like a stubborn little 3-year-old that knows, I know this myself, I want to tie my own shoes. So it almost doesn't want to come out here to the real life. It's some kind of reluctance. It's like a baby don't want to be born. Well, I want to take the next card to see what this is all about. Okay, we have a 2 of Cups here. We had it with many other of the stars. I think Capricorn and Cancer maybe, and some more had this 2 of Cups in this position. What can we say about this? It's not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. 2 of Cups, we have 2 of Cups here, that's a love situation. And here we have Justice 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. Actually, this Justice is number 8. They are often switched like this, but for me, Justice is number 11. And nobody can change that. So it's 2 here. So it's something with duality, being able to trust other people. It seems like Leo is not very trusting right now, and to be in a relationship, to be able to birth this new forward in your life, you need to be able to trust someone. You need to be able to make this equality, like with the Pisces. We are in the Pisces age, in the end of the Pisces age, with the divine masculine, where the divine masculine was supposed to be born and equal to the divine feminine. Unfortunately, we have been kind of hijacked by the divine masculine in the shape or form of its shadow, like authority, power, using and abusing others, having power over others. using the one that's smaller, having slaves, capitalism, having slaves working for them, so on, those kinds of things. So the divine masculine was kind of kidnapped for a long time, and it's supposed to be born here, but it's like you don't trust this process really, and it's some kind of want to go alone, sacrifice all this, like hell is other people in some way. But here is promising justice in your relationship, so you don't have to give up just yet. You have been doing a great job, like working with your shadow, but it doesn't mean if you have healed your shadow, if you have taken the thing that you needed with the devil inside to your life, that's making you more whole, and that's making you change your outer world. So if you have, like, your inner world has been changed, your outer world is going to soon change as well. So when you have integrated the devil and taking the things that he came to you with, bearing gifts to you and saying, well, don't you want your strength? Don't you want to be able to see things clearly and to, like, determine what's what? And you said yes, and you took this, but by that you become very not trusting, and that's of course the downside with having a logic mind. But here it comes something that's more fresh, more pristine, more like beautiful. Not this devil that you're used to, because now you have integrated him, so you don't have to see him on the outside anymore. You can meet people that's more like up your alley, that suits you in a better way. Okay. So the next card here is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is also number 2. We have 11 Justice, number 2 High Priestess, and number 2 of Cups. And this is a pregnancy. So it's like the pregnancy starts all over again, but this time it's with Lilith, not Eve. Eve is number 3, the Empress. This is the Hangman situation. And Lilith, she was the first lady on earth. She was actually... due to legend, she was the first human on earth, but Adam didn't really like her because she was very revolutionary, as you can see with the truth-telling Page of Swords and 11 Justice. It was like the feminine overlord, like she knew everything. She was so deeply into her intuition and her instincts, so she was like an antenna for divine purpose, and there was no fooling her. So it's like you're getting back to this state, trusting yourself, respecting yourself, trusting your own entity. There's no middle hand anymore. You don't have to listen to anyone else to get the truth. You can just listen inside of yourself and get the truth. And this was the state that Lilith was in, and Adam as symbol for this patriarchal society that wanted to overrule and have power, much like the magician in its black form, like wants to manipulate others and doing things in a sneaky way to get the upper hand. This was what Lilith was faced with. And she was cast out in the cold, and now with you here, she's back because you trust yourself. So as long as the patriarchal system could divide you and make you think that you were not good enough, that there was something wrong with you, that you were sinful, that your body was sinful most of all, you weren't able to connect with the divine through your body. Because it was sinful. So they effectively cut off your cord with your divine self and with your soul. And now you have done some kind of revolution that made you come in contact again, and you're not trusting anyone but yourself right now. So you're still like Lilith, alone out in the woods, but you haven't lost the contact with the divine, at least, but you're still feeling in opposition to the patriarchal system in some way. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. You still feel like a slave to the man. So, and you don't want to, but you're bursting forward here like a totally new vision, something with truth. The truth shall set you free, and you can trust your own intuition fully. It's no problem with your antenna. It's bright and clear, and that's no figure, because we have gone through the eclipse season that much had the name Leo written all over it. So people will more and more become like you. White feathers, I've seen many of those. And we have also the snake change, and we have here the snake with wings, the dragon. In the paradisic myth, where people lost the connection with the grid, like the high priestess have, there was a snake and he was doomed to crawl on his belly. So we can guess that he didn't crawl on his belly before. He might have been a dragon. So it's kind of evolution, but going backwards in some way. We learned something, but we lost something else. And now we are going to have the whole package, both our logic mind that we got when in the fall of the paradisic, when we fell out of grace. We got our logic mind, so you will have that, but you will also have justice, not imbalanced anymore. If people want to have something, they need to give something. The more you give, the more you will get back, but not giving. If you give and not get anything back, that's true with the giving, because you are the high priestess. You respect and trust yourself. So if it's feel bad, it's probably bad. It's probably the devil lurking in the woods. So you are pregnant with a new vision, and this new vision will guide you into your new fresh freedom tomorrow, where you have much more choices. You're not shackled by the old way. Still, I think you're still going to be able to be like positive and have this 3-year-old attitude to the world, but you won't forget what justice is. Okay, so you won't be fooled in that way. So that's good. Okay, so we'll take a card for you from the Oracle of Visions by Cyril Marchetti. Whoops. That one. Yes, you're beautifully orchestrated, and the white feathers. Yes. So you're going through some portals with divine guidance. You can trust your own instincts. You can trust your own authority. Trust the messages that's getting through to you. So this you can trust. If you can't trust anyone else, trust at least yourself. And I think it's this thing resembles much the situation here with the Fool, with all the butterflies, and here it's beautiful doves instead, a peace symbol. So, and you have the dragon as well that we saw on the Page of Swords here, and the chords. It's like you have some connection here with the divinely realms. So it's maybe you're waiting, like here you have a naked girl, here's a naked man, here's a naked man. Maybe you're waiting for the divine masculine to become naked and not so cunningly devilish, like secretive or hidden, to become more vulnerable, to become more like this 1, 0, open up for also their divine side. Masculine entities need to go to their feminine side. They're more like giddy, random, expressionistic, creative side to come to the divine. They can't go. You can't go through logic to find that. Logic is good for calculating things and seeing things clearly, but they are not good for divine contact. So maybe you're waiting for something to go through the gateways, this masculinity, for the divine masculine to be born without the shadow. So this is something you can do. Start with the man in the mirror. Start with yourself. That will bring it forth. So become more truthful yourself. So we have a little story coming out here for you. This is the Druidcraft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Cargom and illustrated by Will Worthington. And we have a Two of Swords here. That's Libra, that's justice. That's Two of Swords is a choice that you need to make. That might be why the Fool comes upside down above the Two of Cups. It's a bit distrust in this as well. You don't know, you don't trust these paths, which one will be the best for you. And this blood redness is like a sacrifice that has been made, and you're blindfolded, so you need to feel inside what's the right way for you to go. And you have your antennas out here, much like with the High Priestess, and it's two of cups, 2 of swords, and it's a wood again. So it's some feeling I get of this trust here again, and it's this with the darkness and what's hidden there. But as I see it, well, maybe you need to go deeper into the darkness and the moon, and we have the Hangman and the High Priestess that's very dusky. It's like deep water diving or deep moon excavating. So maybe going into the forest can be also very good. All the subconscious realms where you can meet things that you haven't really seen yet. You need to start to see them, everything about you. Don't be afraid of things. Go head on and sniff it out. And here we have a Princess of Wands. That's you in the other shape and form. We have a Page of Swords here, Princess of Wands. Fire, air seems to follow you around. But fire and air is feeding each other. At least air is feeding fire and making it like fire needs oxygen to burn. So these are the 2 revolutionary pages. The My Way or the Highway kind of pages. They are not here to obey, they are here to lead forward the new future, creating the new future. And Page of Wands doesn't want to sit at home and wait for things to happen. It's like a very creative force that wants to have people around and doing stuff and getting out and about. And so it seems like you're waiting for something, and with the Princess of Wands you kind of stop waiting and you go out and get this, what you wanted all along. The 10 of Cups, like what is happiness for you? Go out and get your happiness. It's right there, it's yours for the taking. You are pregnant with it, so it's just sitting waiting outside your door. And it's something to do with justice and love, like more a love between people, or a sharing, mutual sharing that's equal and like beneficial for all. Not this lap-sided kind of patriarchal system where what we felt over with here with these cards. Rainbow, happiness. So be the Princess of Wands and go out and find your happiness. And if you don't want to get pregnant, that could be a good time to be protective against that. With these cards, the pregnancy and Princess of Wands, and so yes, something new is being brought forward anyway in your life, and you decide what this new should be, but it looks very, very, very happy, very prosperous. So okay, my dear Leos, I'm glad that you follow me on this spiritual journey, and I hope that you will join me again for the beginning of October reading. And well, I want you to take really good care. And yes, if you want a personal reading with me, you can contact me at the email in the description box below the video. Okay, bye bye.